Hey guys, today I'll be answering a question from the comments section. If anyone does have a question, please feel free to ask me. I'm not a bastion of knowledge, but I will do my best to answer from my own experience. So today I'm going to look at the question from Greg. And Greg says, I lift weights to stay healthy with my body weight and strengthen the bones. I notice that you have significant muscle and still do external arts too. So I guess I'm asking for confirmation that I could still lift weights, and with the Discover Tai Chi program online and coaching from instructors such as yourself, I can still actually achieve real internal skills in Tai Chi while still hitting the gym. Your insights. I like to think of it much like an RPG game. So you have your experience points, you're collecting experience points, and you decide to distribute your experience points across a number of skill sets that you want to pursue. The fast path is to stop everything you're doing and focus on your Tai Chi. The fast path of the training is exactly what you're told to do, which is the standing and the Songgung and form. Mostly solo training, and if you're lucky enough to have a partner to work with or partners to work with, doing the two-man sets, that's the fast path, and that's pretty much all you do. Because you're trying to learn a completely different way of functioning, a completely different way of being. And that, for a lot of people, is very difficult. The other thing, there's also an energy issue, right? If you are training properly, you should be quite exhausted. I used to train in Thailand twice a year for a month at a time. And my schedule was something like 3 hours of training in the morning, and then I'm just completely exhausted, and I'll go back to my rented room and just sleep for an hour and a half or so, and then get up and refresh myself, and go back to the sala and train for another 2 hours, and then again I'm completely exhausted, have dinner, try and stay awake, and then sleep at a reasonable time, and then do the whole thing again. That was really exhausting. Like the training was incredibly exhausting. I had to have that midday nap, and I had to have a full night's sleep. And by Friday, which was like the last day of training for the week, like Saturday, Sunday, I was just roasted. My legs were exhausted, my back was sore, everything was just sore. And I was incredibly tired. Because the nature, if you're training correctly, it should be exhausting. It should be grueling. You're training your body a little bit everywhere. Your entire body. You're training the entire system. So you're exhausting every cell. You're exhausting every fiber of your being. That's if you want to take the fast path. One argument for maintaining muscle mass in terms of your Tai Chi is that more is more. If you have more body weight on you, you have more weight to release. The more you can release, the more power you can produce. That is not to say that a slim person cannot produce great power if their quality of their standing and the quality of their practice has been cultivated. I've met people who are in the 60 kilo range who are very good Tai Chi, feel very heavy, they can produce a lot of power. Just as I've met people who are like 120 kilos and they feel like nothing. So the body weight doesn't always correlate, but in terms of if someone has a bit more mass on them, you have more to play with. Both fat mass, so for the chunky guys out there, you can use that, and for the muscle mass, that's other flesh, only flesh, you can use that flesh, that extra flesh that you've grown, to release and increase the power coming out. One of the negatives of someone who is stronger is that it is harder to let go of the old system of doing things. If you are bigger and stronger and more muscly, it is harder to have faith in sung, and so that could be a trapping. So because you are somewhat powerful, so you kind of hold on to the power that you have, and you never really cross the bridge into the internal, because you're still stuck and rely upon that mass times acceleration and the power that you have through contraction. So if you must lift, this is what I would recommend. Try to keep it at a maximum of twice a week. And the lifting or the whatever kind of, whether it's calisthenics or whatever it is, keep it heavy and slow. So you don't want to be doing mass repetitions of these kind of like half push-ups. When you go to a boxing gym, everyone's like doing 20 push-ups, bang, 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 like this, barely any range of motion and all tight and compressed, and there's a lot of tension there. So if you can work full range of motion, so for example, a push-up. For some people, if you're a light person, a push-up is probably not that difficult. You're a bit heavier, like myself. It can be considered heavy work, heavy lifting. So if you do a push-up, you want to have full range of motion, really kind of allowing your elbows to come by and feel your shoulders opening up, moving the scapula, using that external rotation to get the power back up through. That's one way to do it, or one example. Another example is upside down rows. So if you're from Olympic rings or from a bar, doing upside down rows, again, full range of motion, really kind of squeezing the scapula, and you want to be able to engage everything. So, and yeah, moving in that slow range, that's how you build the right amount of muscle without building up tension and having a significant break. So again, maximum twice a week. You could probably get away with one. There's plenty of evidence showing that people can maintain their muscle mass at the very least on once a week of heavy lifting, if that's what you're concerned about. Because I know that there are people who have a very hard time maintaining their muscle. So those people, I understand why you have a hard time letting go of lifting while pursuing your Tai Chi, because if you don't lift, you kind of just disappear and just end up becoming skin and bone, and that can lead to injuries and other health problems. I had to put the weights away. I put them away for around 3 years or so before I can go back into it. Now I train somewhere between at least five days a week of some sort of lifting, or essentially calisthenics. It doesn't get in the way of my Tai Chi in that I can switch between the two modalities. It has gotten in the way in terms of, had I invested all my energy in my Tai Chi, I would be far more advanced than what I am now at what I do in terms of the internal arts. But that was a choice that I had to make because I want to be good at grappling. So I spent a lot of my energy in grappling. I want to be good at striking. I spent some my time in striking. I want to be a well-rounded person, and the result of that is that you don't become a specialist in one thing. You become a jack of all trades. So that was a trade-off that I had to do, that I chose to do. And so there's the trade-off, the fact that I still train in calisthenics. I know I could be using this energy and this time to be working on my form or working on my my standing and things like that. So there's less time being spent on that. So, but that's a decision that I made, that it is a priority for me to be strong in other ways other than just the internal arts. So that's a trade-off that I made. So Greg, I hope that answers your question. And to my audience, I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to make more content, and please send me more questions. Then I'll be happy to answer if I have an answer for you. Sometimes it'll be I just don't know. So, but thank you very much. Take care.